Welcome to Locally Sourced. I'm Armanda Famiglietti. The British are coming. Oh, wait a minute, they're already here. Tonight my guests are from Nottingham, England. You know, the place where Robin Hood and his merry men and Maid Marian were making merry in Sherwood Forest. Well, anyways, let's get right to the show, and I want to welcome Diane and Alan Towns. Welcome, folks.
Hi, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. This is great. It's very rare that I get to talk to people who are from England for half an hour, and I can ask you anything I want, right? So that's terrific. So let's talk about Nottingham first. Where is it?
Nottingham is in basically the centre of England. It's in an area called the Midlands.
We have a map. We can put it up. Keep going, it'll show up.
We're approximately 90 miles from the coast. Nottingham is famous for lace making. And years ago it was famous for cycle making.
And it's famous for Robin Hood.
It is, yes. A lot of the industry though now has gone to China, like probably a lot of stuff does, but Robin Hood still remains one of the tourist focal points.
Right, so we just saw a map, and maybe it'll come back up in a minute, but I just wanted you to sort of show us on the map where Nottingham was. It's called the Midlands?
It is.
So show me, so just say, so we're looking at that map. It's actually sort of on the top third and off to the right, right?
It
Nottingham. It's Nottinghamshire, right?
It's the Shire of Nottingham, yes.
The Shire.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's broken up into counties, the UK is pretty much like over here. And we call them shires, whereas you call them counties, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So we live in the city of Nottinghamshire, and the capital of that basically is Nottingham.
Nottingham.
Yeah.
So how long have you lived there?
I was basically born in Nottinghamshire, not in Nottingham itself, but 4 miles away. Diane was born a bit further afield, but we both now live
3 miles further afield, but counting as Derbyshire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were really in the middle of the Midlands,
Yeah.
Derby,
Yes.
which to us looks like Derby.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we'll talk, I love the British accent, and we were just talking a minute ago about how you just go a few miles and there's a different accent, right?
Oh,
and
totally.
You, Americans, we have some trouble sometimes understanding, but even you said you have trouble understanding some of the accents just miles away from you.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Alan and I were only born about 4 or 5 miles apart. But Alan's family is from a mining community, and even they speak differently. When I first met Alan, some of the things he used to say, I think, what's he talking about?
I think I've lost my strong accent over the years.
Yes.
It used to be a lot broader than it is now. Yeah.
Can you do a little of your old accent for us?
I don't know as I can now.
Well, it's not so much an accent, it's the words they use.
They use different language even.
Whereas if we was talking about a young boy, a youth, where Alan come from, they'd say yoth.
A yoth.
A yoth.
Rather than a youth. It was sort of abbreviating words all the time.
Yes, cutting.
But I've sort of got out the habit of it over the years now.
A yoth. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad you straightened him out then.
Yeah.
Good heavens, we'd never be able to understand what you were saying.
I think Vinny struggles nowadays with some of the words we come out with.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Vinny. You're here because you're friends with Vin DeQuino.
That's right.
And that was an interesting story. Want to just quickly tell it? Because I know you're also appearing on Vin's show, and you tell the story a little more. But technology brought you together.
Yes. That's
right.
Social media brought you together.
Social media, yes. Started with my sister making friends with Vinny's wife, June, playing the game Scrabble, word chums. They made friends on Facebook. I started playing with June. We briefly met in New York for 45 minutes, got on so well. They came over to England to visit us.
We were on an escorted
bus
tour
Yes.
in the first time we came. So the time slots were allocated for this and that. So that's the best we could do at the time, the 40 minutes. So that's what we did.
And then the next time you came, Vinny and June showed you around.
Yeah,
right?
after the initial meeting, did Vinny come to us first?
Vinny came to us first.
Yeah, Vinny and June
that
came
was
to the UK.
awfully nice of you to have Vinny over.
We took a risk, but it paid off.
That's a risk. And June, who's
Yeah,
Yeah.
June and I are good friends, and we talk all the while on the game and on Facebook, you know.
Then daily.
right.
Yeah.
So just meeting over word chum.
Word
That's what
chums,
it's called.
yeah.
You struck up a friendship, and
Yeah.
your two families are now visiting each other.
Yes,
and
yeah.
Well, it's the lady who started it. I've never played word chums yet, but
You just came along for the ride.
correct,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's-
yeah.
Just my sidekick.
Well, that's good.
I just pay for the trips and the internet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you do have a role.
I do. Yeah,
You
correct.
It's an
yeah.
important role,
Yeah.
Alan. So let's get back to Nottingham for a minute. I know of Nottingham. I don't know of every shire, you know,
Right,
in
okay.
England, but I know that shire because of the legend of Robin Hood.
That's right.
And was Robin Hood a real person? You probably know all about him.
He was a real person, but obviously it's got fictionalised.
I was going to
and-
dispute it because,
Oh no, our first argument on
Yeah.
screen.
Oh my!
yeah,
Well,
Go at it.
Diane's from Derby, so she's
She's a little fuzzy brained about this.
she's
Little
accepting
foggy.
it's true, but theoretically it's supposed to come from Yorkshire, a different county.
Really?
Well,
Yeah,
Have you two ever discussed this?
Yes.
Because I feel like I'm bringing
I
up
know.
a
York-
subject now that's.
Yorkshire's stolen Robin Hood off us.
Aye.
They,
How
yes.
can that be?
But we've got Sherwood Forest, we've got Nottingham Castle. Yorkshire's not got any of that. So.
Yeah. Well, I believe that Robin Hood lived in Nottingham.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do too.
And I don't care what anybody
Exactly.
else says.
it's
you know?
easier for the story anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot about Robin Hood in Nottingham. There's a statue
Yeah.
of Robin Hood,
There
right?
is.
And we have a slide of that as well. We'll see in a second. So, I guess tourists come there just because.
Yes.
Or not just because Nottingham appears to be a gorgeous town from what I've seen.
It's one of the major draws of the
Yeah.
town,
Yeah.
though, I would imagine.
I
yeah.
mean, Nottingham now are trying to cut him out a little bit because they want to appear now as a more modern city.
Okay,
And
well,
they, you know.
Let me interrupt you. Let's get that slide back so we can talk about it a little bit. What I was amazed about that slide is that I saw another slide of it, and the people are tiny. That's a huge.
That statue must stand almost 10 feet tall, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
why is Robin Hood sort of pudgy in there? I think of him as long and lanky, you know, like Kevin Costner or
Yeah.
Errol Flynn. He looks a little like a hobbit in that picture.
Maybe the TV's put a few pounds
Oh,
on
you
him.
think?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. Look at
Yeah.
those legs.
It's
like-
probably not the best photograph of him.
And on
Oh,
that,
so in person, that statue he's thinner and
Yes.
maybe
better
yeah.
looking. Okay.
Oh,
well,
And on
that's
that
good.
photo, he's firing an arrow from his bow, which is now made of fiberglass. It always used to be bronze like the statue, but the tourists used to take it home as a memento.
The tourists, those
Yeah.
they're probably the ones from Derby, right?
Maybe.
Or
Well,
Yorkshire.
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
thought it was the
Yeah,
Americans, but someone more local, maybe.
Maybe Vinny took it.
Yeah,
and he
could
had
be,
it
yeah.
there. No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
But anyways, so
Just
So-
round the corner, actually, from where that statue is the oldest pub in England, which dates back to, from memory, 1189, I believe.
And it's-
And Vinny's been in it with
Yeah.
me, and we've all had a drink in
it's
there.
been running since
Yeah.
1189.
It's
It's
built
still
to-
standing after the wars
Yeah,
and
it's actually
everything else.
built into the rocks underneath
Yeah.
the castle.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of
yeah.
the rooms are just carved out of stone.
So the real Robin Hood, well, wait a minute, the real Robin Hood lived around 700?
Yeah, I'm not saying Robin Hood went in there, I'm just
Okay.
saying
Maybe his descendants.
maybe.
yeah.
They're
Maybe.
probably, Robin Hood had made merry, and maybe they're little descendants of Robin Hood running all over
well
Nottingham.
be.
Could be.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's something to think about. So, did your families come from Nottingham? Well, your family came from Derbyshire.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Derbyshire.
Derbyshire, and
Yeah.
yours came from Nottingham.
Correct,
Yeah. But
yes.
my
Sure.
dad came from London. My dad was a Londoner.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. The East End, you said.
Yes, yeah.
Nice. So, and your family was always there. You
Yeah.
could be related to Robin Hood. Let's
Maybe.
just say you are.
We're always, all the families from Nottingham, the mining areas of Nottingham, and most of the mining areas are actually under Sherwood Forest.
That's right.
Lots of the mines
yeah.
run.
Tell me about that. There underneath Nottingham, are all these tunnels?
There are tunnels underneath the castle going through the sandstone rock, which were allegedly escape routes for times gone by.
Okay.
But where Sherwood Forest is, it's in a coal mining area, and most of the coal mines are situated in or around the forest, or were.
Okay.
Nowadays, there's no coal mining over there.
Good.
It's all gone, but all the pit heads and the winding gear there as mementos.
What?
Yeah.
A pit head and a winding gear?
Yeah. The lift that used to drop people down.
Okay. Oh, like the elevator.
That's right. Yeah.
Elevator. Okay. Cool. So, so let's get back to Robin Hood, because you guys are from Nottingham. There have been many books and TV shows and movies about Robin Hood since forever, right?
Right.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Hey, so what? This legend started in the 700s. Wow, that's big. And then it's traveled all the way to
modern times. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What is your favorite movie or book about Robin Hood?
Kevin Costner for me. There's no better Robin Hood than Kevin
He's
Costner.
the quintessential Robin
Yes.
Hood.
Yes.
Okay. And who was his maid Marian in that movie?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't, to be honest.
Oh,
no.
He
I
was
wasn't
so
paying much attention
charismatic.
to
You didn't
Maid
even-
Marian.
You didn't even notice who he was on the screen
I
with.
more remember the TV series of Robin Hood
I don't
when we were a lot
Yeah.
younger,
Yeah, I don't think we had that in
which
the US.
used to be a weekly show.
Yeah.
And because we were from Nottingham and it was on in Nottingham, everyone used to watch it, and that's the one that sticks in my mind with Richard Green and somebody Driscoll. I forget the name now, but
Yeah, I don't.
from many years, 1950s, early 60s maybe.
I mean, we grew up with Robin Hood, didn't we? It was our main television programme, that we
Right.
looked at.
And,
yeah.
and was it filmed on location in Sherwood Forest and Nottingham? And
I think the original series was, yes. Yeah.
we should have run
Yeah.
over and pretended to be,
Yeah.
a merry
I think
woman.
everyone in Nottingham was brainwashed that his theory on life was right. Rob the rich
Oh,
to feed
really? Okay.
to feed the poor, you know.
So that's what still goes on in Nottingham. Is that what you're saying?
I think
No, it's changed now. The government robbed the poor to give to the rich.
Oh, okay. So a lot
bit
like
the
United States.
Yeah.
It's happening right now. So I understand that you were able to play Maid Marian and Robin Hood very recently.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Yesterday.
What happened yesterday? You were in the United States.
Well, when we spoke to Vinny a few weeks back, it was saying that the Renaissance Fair was on in Tuxedo. That's right.
Tuxedo Park. The
So-
Renaissance Fair is
That's
how
right.
we'd say it here.
So
Yeah.
before we came, we got outfits for the occasion. So we bought those. We bought those with us, and obviously with being from Nottingham, Robin Hood and Maid Marian seemed quite appropriate. Yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
So what did you think of the Renaissance Fair?
Enjoyed it.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Did you
Yeah.
recognize anything, or did you? It's kind of like British people putting on a rodeo, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, we do have jousting competitions at
You
the
still do?
At the
Yeah.
castles.
The more at
Yeah.
old castles
Old
rather
castles.
than
They-
purpose-built villages
Yeah,
like you've got
they
up there.
put on things, and then we've got the oldest fair that comes every year called Goose Fair, that's been going on for centuries, and they have all the old acts on and things,
So there's actually a slide up. Of Nottingham? What is
All
that?
right, that's actually
Wollerton
it's
Castle.
called Wollerton Hall. It's one of the wealthy landowners in the Nottingham area lived there, the Willoughby family, and it's probably 3 or 4 miles from the centre of Nottingham in a huge parked area.
Does anyone live there anymore?
No, it's a museum now.
Okay. Well, actually, I did want to get back to what we were talking about before a little bit, which was not all Kevin Costner, but just how much the Robin Hood legend is played out in history. And I've got a couple of slides of, for example, a movie that was very popular in the United States about Robin Hood, starring starring Errol Flynn, and you said you've never even seen that movie. And
I've heard of Errol Flynn, but I've not seen the movie.
Well, you've got to see that, because that is like that is our foundation of the Robin Hood.
What kind of year would that be?
That's probably 38, 39. 1938, 39.
Touch before my time.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost going to be 100 years old, really, when you think about it.
No,
what do you mean before your time? I thought, wait a minute. I watch that movie religiously. It's on Turner Classic Movies, like every month.
As soon as we get back in the UK, Netflix will be on it.
Okay.
That would be my sister and brother's film that they would have watched, because they're like, they were 10 years older than me, so they would have probably seen that one.
Okay. Well, for some reason, we love old movies here in the United States, and, I think many of us just love the older movies even more than not that I'm saying, Kevin Costner is not good, but I also had a couple of other Robin Hood slides, and just to show again how he is depicted, so we can bring those up. There's okay, so this fellow, I would think you would know, his name is Ezekiel Bone, and he is the Robin Hood tour master in Nottingham.
Right.
And he's supposed to, according to Facebook, give terrific tours, and you go down into the tunnels, and he dresses in costume. It really gets very high ratings. So I guess I'm sort of saying that if anyone wants to have fun in England, make sure you stop by in Nottingham.
Its presence in Nottingham is probably more aimed at some kind of tourist magazine or whatever. It's not showing up in anything we look at.
Maybe. And then there's another one, and the one I want to show now is of a very recent Robin Hood, because we have a Shakespeare festival here in Hudson Valley, the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival, and over the summer they did a show called The Heart of Robin Hood, and this was our handsome Robin Hood from that production. So, and I was mentioning to you earlier, it's in a tent, it's done in the summertime, and what you see behind him is actually the rolling hills of Hudson Valley. That's not a background picture. It's the actual background. The backstage is the open air. And so as the play progresses, the moon comes out, the sun goes down. It's really quite dramatic. It's great for something like a movie like a play like Heart of Robin Hood. So that was a little plug for the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Theatre. I hope you don't mind.
No.
It's commercial-free, public access. Okay, so let's go back to talking about how much fun it is to live in Nottingham. And we have some other photographs. And as we see the photographs, you just tell us what we're looking at, right? It seems to me it's a year-round town, right? You can have fun in Nottingham all the time. So what's that?
That's the lace market area of Nottingham, which is now full of...
is that one of the oldest sections? Or?
It is an old part of the town, but it's classed as a little more upmarket now, with bistros and wine bars and
nightlife.
Aimed more at the yuppie type.
We have yuppies.
The people who think they're a little bit higher up the spectrum.
You don't approve of yuppies, Diane. That's how it sounds. We can see another photo now. Maybe we see a yuppie in it. Oh, there are two of them now, I think.
Yeah.
So that's a classic.
That's a classic Georgian street, which, if you look through the woods at the back, you can just see the entrance to the castle.
Oh, okay. And that was the castle we saw in a previous slide.
No, that was Willet Knoll. That's to the proper Nottingham Castle.
Oh, there's a castle.
There is in Nottingham,
Wow. And is that where Sherwood,
Robin
Hood was
Sheriff of Nottingham's residence.
Yeah, that's right.
Nottingham Castle.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And we can show another one. So, it's not all just historical, quaint. This looks like people are partying.
That's still in the park that belongs to Woollerton Hall, which is now a museum in the actual house. But festivals and music concerts and all sorts of events go on there nowadays,
And this is a music festival.
They have food festivals, gin festivals, beer festivals.
And they have the odd drive-in movie type.
Nice. How much fun. Now, are the people who come to these festivals mostly locals, or are they tourists or mix?
Mostly locals, I would say.
The locals are having a good time in Nottingham, it looks to me. So we can see another slide. Okay.
Right.
Now this looks like a Robin Hood celebration.
It's, where they're walking towards now is the very centre of Nottingham, where there's the big square with the council houses on, or town hall as you probably call it here.
Okay.
And that's right in front of them. And just above the lady in purple, you can just see a statue above her. Now that's of, in England, the soccer team, Nottingham Forest. That's their famous manager, Brian Clough.
Oh.
I don't know if you heard of him over here, but
Not at all.
in England,
He's big in England, big in
well
England.
known,
Not so much here, but so people dress up and they celebrate Robin Hood. What time of year is that?
Any time really.
Oh, they do this one.
Well, because that's probably one of the tours that will go through the streets.
Okay.
You know, and yeah, so
that's kind of for the tourists.
Yeah, probably those people in the front are all dressed up and follow him to set the scene.
It is obviously some kind of event with the barriers and that.
Well, let's see another slide of the fun that happens in Nottingham. Okay, so what I heard when I was doing some research about Nottingham is you had beautiful libraries.
Right.
And so this is from inside one of your gorgeous libraries. And then there's another slide right after this one of another view of that same library. So I assume, it looks to me like it's an operating library, but it also looks like a terrific place to hang out and...
I'm not actually aware where that is, but I'm presuming
now,
that it could...
we talked about this, Alan, and you were supposed to pretend.
I'm presuming that it's in the council house or the town hall.
Oh, okay.
Which is right on the main square of Nottingham.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's see another photo. Okay, so there's that square.
That is the main square, that's right, and that's Christmas time when they have the Christmas markets. And that area there obviously is set out for a skating rink.
Right, and you always have a Christmas tree.
All around it there will be different stalls doing all sorts of
little
foods
cabins
and...
Okay, and the next one?
But in that square, in summer, they turn it into...
And you can keep that up for a while.
They turn it into a beach in summer for all the kids. It's all...
Right in the center of Nottingham. And people come out in there bathing.
They do.
Costumes.
Deck chairs, bathing costumes.
They import all the sand in, they put deck chairs in, ice cream parlours, all cocktail bars, and they make it look as though you are at the seashore.
And then there's a fun fair at the side of it, so it's a proper
Have you done that? Have you gone in your costume?
No, we leave that to the grandkids.
Yeah,
they can put theirs on.
Now here's another beautiful shot of Nottingham.
Now that to me looks like a place called Newark, which is probably 15 miles away from Nottingham. But it's that is Newark Castle.
All right. So there are so many of these things
and that would
scattered
be the River
around,
Thames.
right?
The River Trent, that goes through Nottingham. So maybe the boat would have come down from Nottingham to Newark on the Trent in those days.
Right, I think you can take boats down the Trent.
Yeah, you can,
see all the sights.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see any rain in any of these photos. We always think that London, it's a foggy day, it's a rainy day. So you do have some sunshine in
We've had the best summer that we've had this year for many years.
Good for you, because we had
But even so, we don't get loads of rainfall.
No.
I mean, like when Vinny and June came over in the March, it was still quite warmish.
Eddie was expecting rain every day and warm beer, but
no.
very disappointed.
So we got cold beer and warm days.
Very impressed.
So I think we have, so this is our last photo.
Right. Now the council house is a big domed building with a big fancy clock on the top, and that is the inner dome, obviously looking outside and the light in the windows.
It's beautiful. It looks like something out of Harry Potter.
At one time,
Do you know who Harry Potter is?
Oh, of course. Yes.
Just making sure. Harry Potter's very big over here. I don't know if he's very big.
It is in England. We've got the Harry Potter studios that you go to, and you can see Hogwarts and all the things in the Harry Potter.
Now, is that in Nottingham?
No, that's more going towards London, and it's like a big theme Disneyland.
Like Universal
Everything seems to be in
Yes.
London, a bit like New York, maybe.
Yeah.
Everything's in
Well,
one.
how far is Nottingham to London?
It would be about 120 miles.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's drivable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can do it in a
Oh,
couple of hours,
A
yeah.
couple of hours,
Yeah.
and we're there in London.
And you have some terrific trains and tubes and
Yeah.
things. And
Yeah. We tend to drive to London, though, when we go, and then and then use the tube to get about there.
Yeah.
But,
Right. So I also wanted, you guys are world travelers, and that's fun. So what about, you've come to the United States twice, right? And you didn't want to come first time because you thought we were scary and we would shoot you.
You know, that's it. You hear all about the guns, and also I thought it would be really, really fast-paced. It's no different to London.
Oh, no, not at all.
we used to hear about the guardian angels on the subway.
Oh, that's
so-
way back in the 80s.
yeah, but it sort of sticks with you and think it's like the Wild West show down there.
Do you
but-
ever watch Law and Order?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if you watch Law and Order, you think you're tripping over bodies in
Yeah.
Central Park, right?
Yeah.
All at the same place, in front of that rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So people must get a horrible idea. But
I kn-
you would tell your friends back in Nottingham, come on, there's nothing to be afraid
Yeah,
of.
they
Oh,
do.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I only said to Vinny the other day, actually, when we were in Central Park, is it still safe here?
Oh, it's
Enjoy-
probably safer than ever in
Yeah,
Central
yeah.
Park.
yeah.
Now they're even getting rid of the cars.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it's easier to walk around, not have
There's
to be
nowhere
run
in the
over.
USA that we've felt unsafe, to be honest, since
No.
we've
And you've been to New Orleans,
Yeah.
and
Nashville,
Nashville,
Memphis.
west
Yeah.
at all, or south?
We've
Well, south is-
done
New
Philadelphia,
Yeah. We went to
Washington,
Washington, didn't we?
obviously New York.
Yeah.
You've been to a lot of great places and
Yeah.
places around the world as well.
Yeah.
Mainly Europe, France.
Australia was my favourite. I loved
Really,
Australia.
it's such a long trip, though,
Oh,
Yeah.
to see a koala bear.
We stopped off in Singapore for 3 days to break the journey up, which was a beautiful place. Nothing like we expected it to be. It was beautiful.
Wow.
But yeah, Australia was fantastic.
You know, they're waving at me and giving me all kinds of signals. So I have to say that the conversation is over. And you folks are going back to Nottingham, so have safe travels tomorrow. And it was such a pleasure to meet you. And I hope the next time I'm in Britain, I can stop by.
Give us a call. Give us a call.
I was
Yeah,
hoping. I mean, if you're letting
definitely.
Vinny come over.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to shake your
Oh,
hand.
thank
and
you,
thank
Armanda.
you so
Lovely.
much, Diane and Alan Towns. And thanks to our crew. We have lots of them today, and that was great. And thanks to the people who watch.